Hey Aries, welcome to your weekly forecast for March 28th through April 3rd. We do have a new moon in your sign happening April 1st. So we're going to check in and we're going to see how the energies are affecting Aries. Now, you might stumble upon this video after the time frame I mentioned. That's just fine. You're going to find it whenever you are meant to find it, whenever it's time for you to hear the messages. So the first card that's coming up here for our Aries friends is the Seven of Cups. Not surprising, okay? We're coming into this new moon energy. It's a time of new beginnings. And so we're going to be thinking about what we want. This is the first new moon at the beginning of the lunar cycle. Definitely clean slate, fresh start energy. The world is your oyster. The sky is the limit. And so, Aries, some of you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed by this. You're kind of like, you're feeling stuck. You're not sure how to move forward. It's a positive stuck. In the past, you were stuck because you felt like there were no choices or there were no options. Now you're like, there's a lot of different ways I could go about this, and I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm not sure what direction I want to go in. So I have always said this about the Seven of Cups. It's a good idea to write down all of the things that you think you might want to try, or you think might make you happy, or you think you're feeling called or guided to do. Write them all down in a list, and then one by one daydream. Imagine yourself having made that decision, and pay attention to how you're feeling as you're visualizing this scenario. Which scenarios made you feel the happiest? Which scenarios were you most excited about? Take note of that. Then start to do research. What do I have to do to make this happen? What are the steps I have to take to make this happen? Once you do that, you're not going to be stuck anymore. You're going to have a clear plan in front of you, because it's going to be right there in front of you which ones are the things that you can start on doing now, and which ones are the things that you're going to build up to in the future, right? Each little thing can be a stepping stone for the next, taking you to the next level or to the next goal. And then you don't feel stuck and you have an action plan. So this is a great time not only to manifest something new, but to sit there and to figure out the action plan. And you can use this little exercise, can be helpful for a lot of you to do this. The next card that's coming up for Aries is the Princess of Pentacles. Now, this is the Princess of Pentacles, or maybe in other decks we would know it as the Page of Pentacles. And this is when we start to get very smart about what we're doing with our time, our energy, and our money. And this is being repeated. This came up last week in a lot of the weekly forecasts for the different signs. We're getting smart about our resources, and we're coming up with long-term solutions. A lot of people are waking up right now, and they're breaking out of that rat race mentality, right? A lot of us have been doing the, oh, well, I got to find a side hustle, or I have to find a second job. There was a time in my life I was working 3 part-time jobs and going to school. How insane is that? That is not something that is sustainable, right? And for a lot of you, working more than one job is not sustainable. You're not able to keep it up forever. And so you're coming up with clear financial situations, clear financial solutions. You might be realizing you have some things in storage that you could sell and come up with some good money for. You might be realizing that you have some gifts or talents that you can make available, that you enjoy actually doing these things, and it can be a source of income. You may be sitting down and looking at your budget and catching some unnecessary spending. You may be catching a lot of things that are being withdrawn from your account that you don't need anymore, or you haven't even been using. You may find ways to cut down on your food bill or on your utilities. And so it's like all of a sudden you feel like you had this big raise or this big promotion, like you feel like you have a ton more money coming in, but really you're changing your dynamic with your finances. You're changing your relationship with money, and what you have is going a lot farther. I keep hearing simplifying, simplicity and simplifying. So Aries, I feel like a lot of you are simplifying. Some of you may even be going through and simplifying in terms of clutter and just donating or selling or getting rid of the things that you haven't been using. I feel like a lot of you are feeling like you're feeling the need for space. Like you're thinking that you want a more open, more flowy feel in your living environment, right? You might be thinking there's too much furniture, or you're rearranging the furniture in a way where it's opening up the room more. Like there's a lot of things here I'm not used. Like you're wanting openness, you're wanting space. And so I do feel a lot of you Aries may be downsizing just because you feel so overwhelmed and so burdened. It's like a way that you're shedding energy. The next card that's coming up for Aries is the Hanged Man. And a lot of people freak out when they see this card. They don't like to see this card. It scares them because they think it means that there's going to be nothing going on. There's going to be nothing happening. And that's not necessarily the case. First and foremost, remember the Hanged Man is a major arcana card. The major arcana cards are always going to come up when we are coming into a significant new chapter in our life. It's a defining moment. So it's we have a lot of, let me emphasize this. We have a lot of wiggle room in our lifetime. We have a lot of free will, and we have a lot of things that we get to decide in our free will. But the major arcana cards come up when there are certain planned or agreed things. Like our spirit agreed to have a specific lesson in this lifetime, or our spirit came here to accomplish a certain task in this lifetime. So the major arcana cards come up when it's those planned or scheduled or agreed moments. So the Hangman doesn't mean that your life is going to be on hold. It's one of those planned moments, and it's about seeing things from a different angle, seeing things from a different perspective. You may have been making some unnecessary sacrifices. You may have been manifesting things or trying to work towards goals that in your heart of hearts, you don't even want it. You've just been trained and you've been conditioned that this is the epitome of success. In order to be successful, in order to be happy, this is what your life needs to look like. There could be an element of like keeping up with other people. Like you're seeing people in their social media posts and you're seeing them living these glamorous lives or seemingly glamorous lives, and you're feeling like there's something wrong with you, that you have to be doing that same kind of stuff and posting that same kind of stuff, or you have to be making a specific salary every year, or you have to live in a specific neighborhood, or have a specific type of car, or have a specific type of partner, or a specific type of relationship. One of the questions I get a lot in when people come to me for readings is, when am I going to get married? When am I going to get married? When am I going to meet my spouse? And sometimes, not always, sometimes the underlying thing is here, there's this feeling of, if I don't get married, then that means something is wrong with me. That means everybody's looking at me like I'm some weirdo, or I'm some reject, or I'm the kid that got picked last, for dodgeball, and the teams are full, so I'm just gonna sit on the bench and look weird. That's not the case. That's not what marriage is about. So sometimes we're trying to manifest something because we think we're supposed to have it, but really in our heart of hearts, it's not what we want. And the Hangman is a time in which spirit and our angels and our guides are trying to help us to realize that, kind of trying to shake us to wake up and say, hey, 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 think here, think. And I'm going to say this, Aries, and some of you are going to get mad. Some of you may even unsubscribe after hearing this, or leave me some scathing comment and say that I'm wrong and I'm putting out their negativity. I'm not being negative. I have a job to do. My job is I have to deliver the message that I hear. I'm not allowed to edit it. And the message that I'm hearing is, some of you Aries have been working or striving towards something for a very long time. It may be a goal or ambition that you have put a lot of time and energy into for a really long time. And you're realizing that you don't really want it, that you never wanted it. And so you may be letting it go. And for some of you, it's going to require that you kind of have to take a deep breath and brace yourself, because you're worried that people are going to tell you, I told you so. Or you're worried that people are going to think that you failed at this. But you didn't fail at it. You just never really wanted it. You thought you wanted it. And I will give you an example, right? If somebody is like just, if you are out there trying to be an actor, I'm not saying that if you're an actor, this is your scenario. I'm giving you an example that for some people, this is their scenario. So if you are out there and you're an actor or a performer, don't take offense to this. But there could be someone who's been trying for a very long time to manifest being a famous actor or actress. And you might say, why do you want to be a famous actor or actress? What is your why? And the person says, because then I'll never worry about money ever again, and I'll be loved. I'll be loved, I'll be appreciated, I'll be acknowledged. Do you have to be an actor to never worry about money again, or to be loved or appreciated or acknowledged? No, you don't. There are a lot of other ways that we can meet that end, or we can reach those means. It doesn't have to be through being an actor. So when I talk about waking up and realizing you've been conditioned to change, to want something, but that it's an illusion. Some of you are waking up from an illusion and saying, this isn't what I want, that's what I want. And so not only are you simplifying your life and your way of living, you're simplifying your goals. Some of you Aries are feeling like your goals or your ambitions have become much too grandiose. And you're like, I can step it back. I don't need all this. Because at the end of the day, really what I want is to be happy. And there are other ways of doing it. It doesn't have to be through an elaborate process. And it will be a breath of fresh air for you. It will be a big burden that you can take off of yourself when you give yourself permission to let go of these endeavors, even if you've been going for it for a long time. The next card that's coming up here for Aries is the Hierophant. How very beautiful. The Hierophant is another major arcana card. Now we have major arcana cards coming in back to back. So you have heard me say this, those of you who watch my videos. When major arcana cards come in back to back, we're coming into really big changes in a short period of time. We're breaking out of cycles that no longer serve us. We're breaking out of old past life contracts and agreements that no longer serve us. It's a time of big change. And the Hierophant is about commitment. The Hierophant is about tradition and honor and order and beliefs. Now, the Hierophant is associated with the astrological sign of Taurus. Some of you may have a Taurus placement. If that is the case, there can be big changes and big shifts happening for you in those houses or in those areas of your life. Some of you can be working through some karma, significant karma with the Taurus. It does not have to be romantic. It could be a work situation. It could be something with family. It could be a friend. It doesn't always have to be romantic. But some of you could be working through and finishing up some karma with a Taurus. But overall, the deeper meaning of the Hierophant coming up for me in my readings is this is a time in which you're going to have to make some decisions. And Spirit is saying that as long as you make your decisions based on your beliefs, your ethics, and your morals, you cannot go wrong. You will not fail. And that will align you with the opportunities that bring you satisfaction and joy that you find to be fulfilling, and the opposite of soul crushing or draining. And that will be the way that you're aligning with soul family or your tribe, people who feel the way that you feel, people who see the world the way that you see the world. So this is a time of powerful change. This is a time of aligning with who you are, aligning with what you believe, aligning with your higher power. Furthermore, one more thing I want to say, and I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly, I'm not trying to be a fear monger, but we're coming into a time of massive change and awakening. And there's going to be a lot of shifting, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty. I was watching Pamela Gregory, and I will put a link into the video that she did about the new moon in Aries. She's a great astrologer. Astrology is not one of my strengths. I can't sit here and teach astrology. I'm not qualified to teach astrology. I'm an intuitive reader. But one of the things she explained, that the current placements of the planets and the way that they are right now, the last time they were this way was during the Cuban Missile Crisis and during the time that Hitler took power. Both of those times were times that the world went through massive shifts and changes. Now, obviously, we came out of it. We came out of it, and life went on, and we came together, right? But we're coming through another shift. We're coming through another change, and it can be very scary. Just like World War II was very scary. Just like the Cold War was very scary. But at the end of the day, it's our faith that is going to get us through. So Aries, this is a time for you also to figure that out. What do you believe in? What is your belief system? Take time to figure this out as well. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign. Some weeks your moon sign or rising sign might resonate more than your sun sign. If you would like to schedule a private reading with me, you can do so by clicking on the link in the description of the video, calendly.com/amethystangelite. Love readings are linked in the description. And don't forget, every single day, the daily cards as well. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a wonderful week, my dears.